Hey everybody, I'm glad you jumped onto this live class today. As most of you guys know, that we go live in here every Monday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Today we're talking about sleep. So a lot of times this falls into perfect harmony with what we've been covering all month, which is anxiety. We're going to be talking about anxiety all through October and maybe even a little bit into November because this is such a huge issue for people. So one of the symptoms actually of anxiety and depression and a lot of the different mental illnesses that there are is interrupted and irregular sleep patterns. So are you guys dealing with that? Does anybody here have problems either getting to sleep or staying asleep? Or, once you are asleep, maybe you have issues with night terrors or really vivid dreams that plague you and cause you to not get a restful sleep. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before I jump into that, I want to give you just a little bit of background as to what happens to us when we sleep. Just waiting for some of you guys to jump on here. I would love to be able to interact with a few of you live on this broadcast. So please do jump on. Please join us. Let us know if you're jumping on right now. Please let us know by dropping something into the chat box. Say hi. And let us know where you're joining from and if you do struggle with sleep issues or irregular sleep patterns. So let's start off with this. When you go to sleep, so at the end of a day, when you lay your head down on the pillow and you relax into deep slumber, what's happening is your active conscious brain is shutting down. It's taking a break, it's taking a rest, and your active subconscious mind is coming to the forefront. So basically what's happening is the body dies, so to speak, and the spirit comes to life. So the body lays down and shuts off, the spirit comes awake and begins to process. A lot of times when you guys have dreams, vivid dreams, especially with a lot of symbols and metaphors and images and like archetypes and stuff in your dreams, that is just your higher self. It's your spirit self, just kind of processing things that are going on throughout the day, things that have gone on, that are currently going on, or things that need to be resolved or healed in your body. So it's kind of important to take a look at that, and we are going to talk about dreams today a little bit too. So when you go to sleep, the brain shuts down, the spirit comes awake. Basically, the spirit has the opportunity to step forward and be in charge because guess what? All of this noise and mental chatter and mind chatter has been shut down, and there's nothing really to stop or impede or get in the way of that spirit processing information, because it needs to do that too. So technically what some people believe is that you actually do step into other dimensions or into other spirit realms when you go to sleep, because your brain shuts down and the spirit comes to life basically, and where that spirit part of you lives is in the fourth dimension and other dimensions as well. And so what happens when you sleep is sometimes it can open you up to all those dimensions. It can open you up to pretty much anything that is out there in the spirit realm. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's not such a good thing. So if you're someone who wakes up in the middle of the night feeling this overwhelming feeling of impending doom or anxiety or stress in your body, or maybe just like a hovering fear or panic or something that's gripping you, a lot of people who have anxiety experience that either first thing in the morning or smack dab in the middle of the night, just out of nowhere. And some people believe that what that is just, it's dark energy from the spirit dimensions that don't really have your highest good, your best interest in mind, right? And so sometimes you can, when you're in that sleeping mode and your brain is shut down and you're no longer participating in the physical realm, but you are definitely wide awake to the spirit dimension, you can actually pick up on entities and dark beings that are kind of mischievous. On the reverse of that, you can actually have the opposite effect. So you can actually also be enlightened by enlightened beings. You can receive pretty powerful, amazing information. So what is it that that prevents you from tapping into what you don't want, which is the negative energy and entities potentially, and what is it that allows you to tap into that dimension of wisdom and intelligence and light and truth that wants to pour through? There's a lot of people out there with mental illness especially who have very vivid dreams and a lot of dreams, and they remember their dreams. And sometimes people who have these gifts will dream dreams that are extremely prophetic. So they'll dream something and then it'll happen to them within the next couple of days. So if that's you, then what you're doing is you're picking up on, unknowingly, you're picking up on that divine infinite wisdom that lives in that other dimension. We call it the fourth dimension, but there are many other dimensions that you can step into as well. So most of this happens when the body is relaxed and it's in a place, it's in a state of peace. And what I want to talk about today before we jump into, I'm going to give you some tips and tools that you'll be able to walk away with today. But what I wanted to reiterate on is that it matters where you put your attention and what your intention is before you go to sleep. So that's kind of where I want to jump into. Do you guys ever remember, do you remember growing up and hearing that little prayer or song that went, "Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take." Have you guys ever heard of that? Give me a yes or a thumbs up or something. Just let me know if you have heard of that before. A lot of people have. I grew up hearing that. I don't know where it came from. I think it's kind of a religious little prayer or a song. And there's a reason that people used to do that. I mean, they used to do that literally as their prayer before bedtime. And many people back in that day did believe that if you didn't ask for protection before you went to sleep, you're vulnerable. I mean, you're open to whatever exists and whatever lives in that dimension. Hey, Savannah, I'm glad you're here. You've heard of it? Yeah. Well, people used to use it back in the turn of the century. It was a very familiar little prayer or a song, and they did it with the intention of, sorry, there's a lot of construction going on outside of my window right now, and geez, they had to come right now at this moment and be noisy. Anyway, it was used as a way of setting the intention of saying, "Please, Lord, protect my spirit while I'm sleeping so that I don't get interrupted or so that I don't get attacked." Because it's something that's really literal, it's real, that we can have what is called psychic attack when we're in our sleep. And we don't know what's happening to us. We think we're just having a panic attack. And really what it is just beings from those other dimensions that we've sort of slipped into because the brain is shut down. We've slipped into these other dimensions, and there are beings that exist in there that want to bug you and they'll bully you and they'll bother you and latch on to you if you don't set the intention. So it's really important that it's interesting. I think in a lot of the religious cultures, we've adopted this pattern or this habit, I guess, of kneeling down beside your bed and saying your prayers before you go to sleep. And there's a reason for that. One of the big reasons is it's a really healthy thing to do. If you're a praying person, to either ask for protection, ask for your sleep to be watched over and protected, ask for your soul to be kept safe, your spirit, ask for your dreams to be elevated and light and clear and enlightening. It's important that we ask for those things. And if you're not a praying person, if you don't really subscribe to any religious affiliation and you don't pray, then at the very least, set the intention before you go to bed that I will be protected in my sleep. I will have enlightening dreams. I will have deep sleep. You set the intention. You make sure that you set it up right. So I'm going to give you 6 ways to set up a good night's sleep, especially if you're someone who suffers from anxiety or even depression. A lot of the mental illnesses really, people who suffer with any of the mental illnesses have a hard time with regular sleep, with healthy sleep patterns, and they have a lot of choppy, interrupted sleep or non-existent sleep. I know a lot of people who have gifts of the spirit and who suffer with some of these mental illnesses, who have a really difficult time with sleep. And when you don't get sleep, you're irritable, you're moody, your immune system shuts down. You really cannot function if you're not getting good sleep all the way around. And that happens on a mind, body, and soul level. So here are 6 things you can do. Step number 1, let me get a drink. Step number 1 is set the mood for good sleep. So before you go to bed, set that intention. Prepare your room. I know people who bring in healing stones. I don't know if you can see behind me. You probably can't. But behind me, I have this beautiful honeycomb calcite crystal. It is about this tall. It's a big chunk of honeycomb crystal, and it has healing properties to it. It's not a salt block. It's not Himalayan salt, but it's a chunk of rock, and I had somebody drill a hole in the bottom, and I stuck a little light in it. And I can illuminate that at night or in the morning if I want to kind of illuminate the powers of that stone. So sometimes people will bring in healing stones. They'll put them under their pillow. They'll sleep with a little bag of stones beside them, either by their bed or in bed with them. I don't know. Sometimes that can help. There are energies and frequencies that go along with the various different types of stones and rocks on this planet. Each one has its own quality and function and vibration. And so you can use those vibrations to help you set the mood for good sleep. The one that I highly recommend is black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is a great stone for helping to clear negative energy and protect you from negative entities. So another one that I love, here's one that I have. Sometimes I'll keep this by my bed, but it's just a raw cut amethyst. And so like if you want to have very enlightened dreams and step into that spiritual realm, the realm of light, not the realm of mischievous beings, but the realm where enlightened beings live, this is the stone to have. And so sometimes if I know that I want specifically to prepare to have a good dream like that, to get good information, then I will use the amethyst. There are tons of other stones. Just do some research on it. I can leave you a list in here. Actually, some of that information is going to be coming up in our 5-day anxiety release challenge, so I'll be giving you guys that. Watch for it on the 23rd when we go live. So prepare with stones. Many of you guys are familiar with essential oils, so you can put a diffuser by your bed and bring in oils like lavender or serenity or just really soothing, calming, peaceful oils to help you sink into deep slumber. Another one is drink plenty of water throughout the day and keep a glass of clean, fresh water by your bed at night. And before you go to bed, take a sip of water. If you set the intention before you go to bed that you want to dream, you want to have a dream and you want to remember your dream, one of the best ways to trigger that subconsciously is take a sip of your water and say to yourself, set the intention and say, I will remember I will have an enlightened dream tonight. I'm going to get good information. I will have a dream tonight. And then you set the glass down, you go to sleep. When you wake up in the next morning, take another sip of that glass of water and say to yourself, command your body to bring up and recall what you dreamt the night before, and just say, I will remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams. So stones, crystals, oils, drink water. I use it just as a way to trigger my subconscious into pulling up that information. Some of you, especially people with anxiety and have interrupted sleep patterns, you have a hard time remembering your dreams. So you know you are a dreamer. You know you probably do have vivid dreams, but the minute you wake up, boom, they're gone. You just can't, you have this vague memory. I know I had a dream. I know it was vivid. I know I experienced something in my sleep, but I just can't bring it back. So there are things that you can do to trigger that and set the intention of pulling that stuff back up to the forefront. Drink water. There are great teas, herbal teas that you can prepare, like chamomile, peppermint tea, cinnamon. Do your research on that too. There's a lot of really great calming, relaxing teas that can help you set the mood before you actually jump into bed. Many of you guys are just kind of, at the end of the day, you've pushed yourself and pushed yourself and pushed yourself so hard and so fast and for so long that you never really gave yourself an opportunity to prepare for bedtime. We teach our children to prepare for bedtime, but we rarely ever do. And we just collapse and fall into bed at the end of the day. So I'm telling you, give yourself 10 to 15 minutes to prepare yourself for bed. That's number one. Set the mood for good sleep. Also, it's kind of important for your hormone levels, you know, all the hormones that need to come into place and be in balance in order for you to get into deep slumber. It's important that you be in a dark room. So close the blinds, shut off electronics. Do not watch TV before you go to bed. It's the worst thing that you can do if you want to drop into deep sleep. So another thing that you can do also is saging. I love the smell. This is a bundle of dried white sage, and you can do saging. Just look it up, Google it. Google saging or smudging. There are different, affirmations or prayers that you can do when you sage, but it basically helps to clear the energy in the room and clear out negative energy and just cleanse that space before you go to sleep, so you don't have to be under attack when the brain finally does shut down. Step number 2 is brain dump. This is one of my favorite things, and did I bring it? No, I didn't. I have a little book. It's kind of similar to this one. It's got all these little pages and stuff in it where I can just, and it has tabs. This isn't the one, but this is similar to it. I just have this little black book, and it's got tabs in it with topics of stuff that I think about a lot. So if you are a deep thinker and you have a really difficult time shutting your brain down at the end of the day, grab a little binder or a booklet or a pad of paper so that you can keep it all together. I call it my brain dump journal. And when I start to get relaxed, you guys will probably notice this, but after you've said your prayers or done your meditation or your intention, whatever it is that you do before you go to bed, I usually pray and meditate. The mood is already set for me. I have my little routine. So I do drink tea from time to time and have that already as a part of my routine. But I've noticed that when I finally do climb into bed and lie down and just relax and my brain starts to shut down, all of a sudden, all this important stuff comes to the surface and I start thinking and thinking and thinking, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to remember this. Oh my gosh, I forgot this. Oh, I need to remember this. Or like flashes of ideas, really good ideas will come into my head the minute that I get relaxed. And it's kind of annoying because then I can't go to sleep at all unless I get up and dump that stuff out of my brain. So that's why I keep one of these by my bed every night. So when that does happen and I start to relax and I think of things that want to be poured out of my mind, I can go to the section in my brain dump journal and just jot down what it is I need to remember. I also have a sticky note pad there. So if there's something really important I cannot forget in the morning, I'll put it on a sticky note, a really bright flashy one, and stick it on the front of that brain dump journal. Remember to pay the bill, the Visa bill, or whatever it is, right? Okay, so keep a brain dump journal close by so that you can empty your head and clear your mind. In my brain dump journal, I actually do have a section for dreams and flashes of information. So it's the place where I'll kind of jot down my initial impressions of what my dreams were. And then I actually have a dream journal where I can write it all down as it starts to flow. But in my brain dump journal, in the section of in intuition, sometimes, when you're sleeping in the middle of the night even, you might be awakened with a flash or a spark or a really great idea. And if you're too tired and you go back to sleep, you'll forget. And so I like to keep my brain dump journal handy so that I can just jot down a few things to help me remember what it was, that the idea that I had, and then I can come back to it in the morning and fill that out. So it's a really great idea to clear out the mind, clean it out, do a brain dump. I also do a brain dump first thing in the morning. When I get up in the morning, I will jot down whatever I need to get out on paper. And then you can use that brain dump journal from time to time, like maybe once a week. Go through it and see if there's any valid or great information in there that you need to put into action. It's a great way to clear your mind before you go to bed. Number 3, meditate and pray. If you are not a religious person, and I don't judge you if you're not, but if you are not, at least meditate and set some intention before you climb into bed and shut your mind off. I find that it's a really good practice to get into to clear the mind. That's why I do the brain dump. Meditation really helps with that too. Prayer helps you to set the actual intention. This is what I choose to have happen tonight. And you know what? Sometimes you want different things. Sometimes you want uninterrupted sleep. You don't want to have a dream. You don't want to have angels and messengers coming and showing up, waking you up in the middle of the night. You just want uninterrupted sleep. And so you can ask for that. Sometimes in your life, you're looking for guidance and direction and light and knowledge. And you're looking to be enlightened, potentially by that 4th dimension, angels and guides and beings that are there to assist and support and serve you. And so before you go to bed, you can actually use your voice to set the intention and just say, I would like a little bit of help. I would like some insight. I would like help knowing what my next step is. I would like to have a dream and remember it. I would like to know a little more clearly what the best path for me to take is. I have this choice, and this choice I need to make. This is the one I'm leaning towards. Please give me a dream that will enlighten my mind and help me to know what's the best path to take. So you can actually pray and ask and set that intention. So sometimes you can set different intentions. Some nights you just want good sleep. Some nights you want information. Some nights you want a visitation. And you want to be open to that. And you want to remember it. So set whatever the intention is for you. You can do that in the form of a prayer. You can also just sit there and meditate for a moment before you hop into bed and see what comes even in that moment. It might give you some things to put into your brain dump journal. Number, let's see. Oh, actually, let me go back to that. Going back to number 3, the praying and meditating. That's the time of the day or night that you specifically ask for protection. Please protect me from misguided souls or misguided spirits that want to influence or that want to bother me tonight. I don't want to be bothered by people from the dark side. I don't want that coming into my room. I literally, honestly, have, and I know a lot of you guys have had these experiences too, but I literally have been woken up in the middle of the night to dark figures standing at the foot of my bed, staring at me. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying to experience stuff like that and not really know that you have any power to break through that. So ask for protection. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Hi, Gail. Glad you joined us. The other one is ask for specifically what it is that you want. Okay? So be intentional and then ask. Number 4 is relaxation. There are tons and tons of little exercises and meditations that you can do to help put the body into a prepared, relaxed state. Hey, Savannah. That happens to 2 of my sisters at night also. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty common. It actually is more common than you think. So there's about 5 or 6 of you guys on here right now. Let me know, has anybody ever had this? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning and just felt this overwhelming impending doom or panic or fear, gripping fear to the point where there's pain in your body? Is a really common thing, especially with people who suffer from anxiety and depression. Hey, Melanie, glad to see you on here. When I lay down to try to sleep, it's not good ideas that come to mind that I can write down. It's thoughts about the things that I didn't do. So basically my mind is beating, you're beating yourself up. Okay, stop it. Stop doing that. Don't do that. And you know what? You are the one who is in charge of your thoughts. You can allow your brain to run amok if you want to, or you can bring it under control. It's like your brain is kind of like a 2-year-old child. It can run around the house, ripping things apart and throwing temper tantrums, or you can say, no, that's not okay. We're not going to be doing that. And you can redirect and re-guide the little 2-year-old, because that's what our brains are like. They are like toddlers. And if you let your brain run your life and run the show all of the time, it's like letting a 2-year-old drive a car down the freeway. It's not capable. And that's not its job to be doing that. Your brain's like a calculator. So use it when you need to navigate through your checkbook and to get your kids to and from school or whatever, but do not allow it to run amok all the time. You be in charge. You set the intention of what those thoughts are going to be. Hi, Pauletta. So glad to see you on here. Came in late, have to go back and watch. Yeah, you go back and watch the replay. We're going over the 5 things that you can do to set the intention to get good sleep, especially those of you who suffer with anxiety and depression and any of the other mental illnesses that really mess with sleeping patterns. So number 4 is relaxation. One of the best things that I find is helpful to do is just learn how to have body awareness. Good body awareness. So when I lay down and when I've gone through steps 1 through 3 and I'm ready to just kind of relax and go, I'm getting sleepy just talking about it, but when I'm ready to go into that slumbered state, I take all of my attention and I go inside of my body and I drop down, 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 all the way down to the base of the spine or lower, down the legs and into the feet. And that's where I go. It's like kind of, you're just climbing down deep into the body, because there is no more protected place you can be than inside of your body. It's the safest place for you to be when you're sleeping and when you're processing emotion. So take all of your attention, all of your awareness, and drop deep down into your body. And as you're processing stuff for the day, notice what do I feel in my body? What is the sensation of that thought or that emotion, and where do I feel it? And then just start breathing. Follow your breath patterns in and out. You can do the up and down breathing. Breathing in, it goes up. Breathe out, it goes down and out your feet. And just keep following that breath up and down your body, up and down the center of your body as you breathe in and out. And on the exhale, give yourself permission to just soften and surrender and relax all the tension and just release into the body. It's called surrender, going into a state of surrender. You can't really get good sleep when you're tense anyways. So releasing all the tension. Relaxation is the best thing to do. Body awareness and getting deep inside of your body. That's the way that I do it. And then I just mindfully soften and surrender those muscles that are tight. Keep a close watch on your eye muscles, because sometimes you can sleep all night with these tense. It's one of the main reasons why the majority of our culture has to wear glasses and get contacts. You don't need that stuff. The only reason that you need it is because you are so tense here in the mind and in the brain and in the face and the eyes that you're cutting off circulation to your eyeballs. Learn how to relax your eyes and you can restore your own vision. You can. We were not built to rely on external lenses. And we're not built for that. Number 5, keep a dream journal. I talked about that a little bit. Grinding your teeth. Yeah, that's a huge one. So grinding your teeth typically is things in the jaw, has to do with speaking your truth. So maybe things gone on through the day that were not said. Or maybe your ability to choose throughout the day was hampered or stepped on in some way. One of the best ways to release that is to speak your truth. Go talk it out. Or write it down. Using that brain dump journal should help you to be able to relax this jaw. This is all about speaking your truth and making choice. So if you're having a hard time in that area of your life and you feel powerless to make your own choices or speak your truth, maybe you hold a portion of your truth back, yes, then you're probably going to show a lot of tension here. It's going to be difficult to shut that down at the end of the day, especially if you don't honor your truth and speak your truth when you have the opportunity throughout the day. So, and also there are some ways that we can help assist you with that, with clearing and releasing what is built up and pent up here in the jaw. A lot of it is emotion, trapped, negative emotion that you're holding on to. Yeah. Well, I've done it all my life too. Years ago when I was really, really sick going through my stuff, I would lay down in bed at night and I could not get to sleep and I could not relax my jaw. No matter what I did, there was nothing I could do mentally to relax this part of my body. I had to just go through and do the inner work and clear and release, establish healthy boundaries, become a sovereign being inside my own body, and speak my truth. And once I learned how to do that, the tension and the problem in my jaw went away. Hey, Gina, glad you joined us. It's good to see you guys all coming on here. We're on number 5, was keep a dream journal, a brain dump by your bed. We already talked about that, so maybe it's not number 5, but let's move on to number 6. Number 6 is program for what you do want. So if you do want to specifically enjoy the blessings of having an enlightened dream, you specifically should ask for that, especially in your prayers before you go to bed. You can program by setting the intention. Actually, 5 and 6, we pretty much covered these, so you could condense them into 4 instead of 6 steps. But you can program for setting the intention that I want to go to sleep tonight and I want to wake up refreshed and energized. That's what I intend to do. So you can ask, you can say it out loud by asking, you can meditate, and then you can go into the intention of saying, I choose to go into a state of deep rest so that I can awaken refreshed and energized. Like, programming basically is you, as the being inside of your body, are setting the intention for your subconscious mind to follow. So your brain is like a puppy, and it's like a 2-year-old at the same time. It's like a puppy. It wants to learn. It wants to follow your suggestions, but you have to set the intention. So if you're not there to set the intention, the brain's going to just run amok and do whatever it will do. Awakening at certain times. So I literally do not use an alarm clock unless I really don't trust myself. On some occasions I don't, especially if I've been up too late in the night, then sometimes I won't. But for the most part, I don't use an alarm clock, and I've got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get my kids out the door for school. So how do I do that? The best way to do it is to program your mind, your subconscious mind, the night before you go to bed. So before you relax and go to sleep, you're just going to say to your mind, I am in charge here, and I intend to wake up refreshed and energized at 6 a.m. It is now 10:45 p.m. or whatever time it is. You note the time on your clock. It's now 10:45. That gives me X amount of hours. You will wake up at 6 a.m. on the dot. Do not fail me, mind. Don't fail me. So you just have this little conversation with your brain, and you tell your brain, you will do this. You will wake me up. And it does take a little bit of practice. Like, the first couple times you do it, you're going to be like, I don't know if I can trust it. So do it on a Saturday or on a day when it's not critical for you to wake up, okay? And practice it. And eventually you'll get to the point where you can totally and completely trust your mind to wake you up at 6 a.m. on the dot. Every time I have ever programmed to wake up at a certain time the night before, it's always at the exact time. Like, I'll wake up just as the clock is going flip to 6:00. So I don't know why that works. It's interesting how the subconscious mind wants to obey you, but you have to be the one who sets the intention and who is in charge. It's like being the parent of the 2-year-old, right? Okay, 2-year-old, here's how it's going to go down. You're going to do this, and I'm going to do this. I am in charge. You are not. And that's kind of how you have to treat your mind, your brain, because your brain is not who you are. So you can program for dreams. You can actually say, brain or mind, I would like to have a dream tonight. And this is the information that I'm looking for. These are the answers to these problems in my life that I'm looking for. Please give me clarity. Please give me insight. Do not fail me. Provide for me a message, an image, some kind of a symbol, or like a little movie in my mind to give me that information so that I can know that I know this is the right step for me to take. So you can program for specific kinds of dreams if you want. If you want to be visited by your guides or angels or somebody, you can't really, it's really, really difficult to control who comes in, because you can't order people around, especially in the other dimension, right? And so if you want to have a visitor who is enlightened and full of compassion and love and has your highest good in mind, so you want to attract beings of light that walk in light, that want to serve you and that love you. If you want to attract that, you can program for that and set the intention for it and ask for it and tell your mind to be open to it. Hey, Gina. Gina says, so I can tell myself I'm going to wake feeling wonderful even when hurt is in the body, and it works. Yeah, if you learn how to practice this and be the one that sets the intention and be in charge of your body, because you're not a victim to your body. You're not. Pain is kind of an illusion. It's a way the body's trying to get your attention, but you can tell your body, no, thank you. I'm not having any of that today. I choose to be full of energy. I choose to be limber and free. I choose to have energy and balance in my body. Whatever it is that you intend, set the intention. You decide. You're the one in charge. A lot of times we think that our body is in charge of us and it's in control of us, and that we are just victims to these bodies that hurt all the time. And no, you're a lot more powerful than that. You can actually make incredible changes and influence your body by simply setting those intentions and noticing where your intentions are. So if you want to actually, the last thing that I was going to share with you is, sometimes you can create your own dreams. You can set the intention to come up with a dream of your own. So basically, when you go to sleep at night, as you start getting deep into your body and taking all your awareness and attention deep into the body, the way I do it, as I go up into the third eye, back in behind my eyes, into the center of my brain, I imagine a big, beautiful indigo colored movie screen that's blank. And I put the movie up there. I'm the one who creates the dream. I'm the one who creates the images and the metaphors, and I let the little mind movie play out however I want it to. If I were to have a dream, this is the dream that I would choose to have. So you can actually reverse engineer the process of dreaming by putting yourself in a state of deep rest, which is down deep in the body and relaxed. You can put yourself into that state and then intentionally create your own dream. And the powerful thing about that is that that's one of the great ways that you can attract to you what it is that you're trying to manifest in your body and in your life. So it's a really, really powerful thing to start doing. One of my favorite ways to do it, I will go on to, and I'm going to give you guys the links to these resources after this video publishes. But one of my favorite websites is dreammoods.com, DreamMoods. So there's two M's together. Dreammoods.com. It's a dream dictionary, so you can look up specific symbols and metaphors. And if you understand what certain metaphors and symbols and images mean, then you can put those intentionally into your little mind movie, your own dream that you're constructing. You can put those archetypes and symbols and metaphors into the dream on purpose in order to create a really powerful manifestation experience for yourself. It's basically reverse engineering the dreaming process. So, you guys have questions? Anybody else suffering with interrupted sleeping patterns and unhealthy sleeping patterns? And is it really kind of wasting you away? Do you wake up feeling exhausted, mentally drained, full of pain? Gina, I just wanted to say I looked up my numbers from my dream and it was right on. Right? I know. Do you know, this isn't a mystical thing. It really is not. It's pretty straightforward that all of creation, including numbers and shapes and images and symbols and music and tones and sounds and nature, stones, plants, herbs, oils, everything has its own unique frequency. And each of those frequencies has its own qualities and functions to them. So you can use nature, you can use all of creation to help you tap into the right frequencies that will allow you to step into spontaneous healing, that will allow you to manifest what you do want in your life instead of being a victim to what you don't want. You be the one who is in charge. You be intentional. You be awake and aware. It's interesting we're talking about being awake while we're talking about how to get good sleep. But you know what? It's one of the most critical, important factors to getting good sleep is to be aware. What is going on in your body? What are you feeling? Where are you feeling it? And why is it there? So yeah, this is something I'm really excited to take you guys deeper into and teach you more of. It just fills my heart with glee to get to teach you guys this stuff. It's something that I'm really, really passionate about. It has changed my life. It's changed the course of my life. It's actually saved my life. I hit rock bottom about 10 years ago. And rock bottom for me was total adrenal failure because of anxiety and depression and two autoimmune illnesses that were really stripping and robbing me of vitality. I woke up every morning in pain. I woke up every morning feeling like I am in more of a deficit of energy and vitality now after a good night's 9 hours of sleep. I'm in more of a deficit now than when I went to bed. Why is that? And my husband would say, why do you feel so rotten? You had a good night's sleep. You had 8 hours. What's your problem? And I'd be like, I don't know, but I feel worse now this morning than I did before I went to bed. So, Melanie, I struggle with going to sleep, so I'll try your steps. I'm wowed that I've learned that I can control my mind. Thank you. Yeah, well, you're in charge. Your mind is not who you are. Your brain is not who you are. Your brain is not really your friend. It's a tool. Your brain is a tool. Remember that. So I want you to think about this. The reason that I know this is because I kind of experienced it. When I had a couple of near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences when I was at my sickest and went through adrenal failure. And when I left my body, I made this stark realization, as plain as day. I will never forget the realization. And it was this, that as I looked at my body from a distance and looked at all these people gathering around trying to revive it, I realized, wow, the brain is shut down. The organs are shutting down and pretty much shut down. Like couldn't get a heartbeat, couldn't get a pulse, I wasn't breathing. Nothing was going on in that body. And as these people were working on trying to revive the body, I sat back and went, wow, I thought that was me. So if that's not me, who is this over here that feels so alive and so good and so blissful and so peaceful and so relaxed and stable and healthy and free and vibrant? I mean, I didn't want to go back into the body because it felt so good to be out of it. But what I didn't know then that I do know now is that the secret is tapping into that part of yourself that's not the mind while you are inside of your body. It's the safest place for you to be, and it is the way that you induce spontaneous healing in the body. It's the way that you set the intention in the body. So remember this, your brain is an organ. It's like a calculator. It's a device that is used to analyze data and to compare data. And so that's why when you get up into your mind too much, you get very judgy and analytical, and it can drive you crazy, and it can make you not a very nice person, because then you start judging yourself and everybody else and comparing and analyzing data. You compare yourself to everyone else, and you either end up here or down below. Well, that's the definition of pride. Anytime you see a separation between you and someone else, whether you're above them or below them, that's pride. And pride doesn't feel good. It's the opposite of compassion. It's the opposite of unconditional love. So we want to return ourselves back to a state of unconditional love. How do we do that? We have to get out of here, and we have to go back into here, into the body. Go into the center of the body. Anytime you tap into that midline in the center of the body, you are tapping into who you really are. So let's do this before I let you guys go. What time is it? Oh, we've been on almost an hour. So this was a really good class. We could talk about this for days. Do this before I let you go. This is your homework, guys. Do it tonight when you get to bed. So after you've gone through all of the steps of preparing the mood, preparing your room, making sure the room is dark, prayer, asking for protection, asking for what kind of sleep you want, asking for out loud, asking for how you want to wake up and how you want to feel when you wake up, doing all of that stuff and meditating and clearing your mind, doing the brain dump and emptying the brain of all its contents. Then you're going to lie down on your pillow, and you're going to just take all of your attention and your awareness and go inside of your body. You just close your eyes. Do it right now. Close your eyes and think about that line that goes through from the top of the head. If there was a beam of light going into your body from the top of your head right here, all the way behind your eyes, through your throat, through your chest, through the belly, down to the base of the spine, and through the legs and out the feet. That line is your midline. So put your attention somewhere inside your body on that midline. And breathe. You'll notice that when you hold attention in there, you stop breathing. So you want to keep breathing. Breathe. And what I would do when you go to bed at night is breathe up and down that line. Breathe in, it goes up and out the top of your head. Breathe out, it goes down and out your feet. Breathing up, breathing down. In, breathing out. Just slowing the breath down and following that midline up and down the body. Up and out and down and out. And follow that breath until it gets slower and deeper and more relaxed. And then just notice where in my body is there tension? Where am I holding on to stuff? And find those little pockets of tension and be willing to invite them to just release. 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 You can even say out loud, release. Release. And let go of the tension. Soften your muscles and use the breath to empty out the body of all of the tension until you go to sleep. When we jump onto our 5-day anxiety release challenge, I'm going to be giving you guys other breaths that you can do to help release anxiety and to help put you into a state of deep relaxation so you can go to sleep. But this is one of the very first things that you can do to help prep you for that's coming up. Love you guys. Thank you for engaging with me on here. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for participating. And I will see you again inside this group. We do these live broadcasts Mondays and Wednesdays. I try not to go to an hour. I can't believe I talked that long. Usually I try to keep it to a half hour. So anyway, I will see you guys over on my Facebook page. Every morning I do a broadcast over there where we talk all month. This month we're talking about anxiety. So if you want to keep learning, catch me over there. Be sure to like and follow that page and share that around with people on the internet if you think they could benefit from this too, because the more people we can reach, the more people we can help. So I love you all. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.